Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so happy today, guys, and I just want to share. So, how is everyone doing? First of all, how's your weekend going? How's life treating you, especially right now? This is definitely still uncertain time because, like, I don't know where you are watching from in the world, but I'm here from Texas, and everything is kind of open right now. But like, the coronavirus numbers keep going up still. So, but anyway, I am so happy. I'm not gonna let that steal my joy. I'm still kind of at home. But today is the day of the boy child, guys. I didn't even know if it was a thing, but 2 years ago, they started this thing, and anyway, so happy today. But I'm here to talk about happiness. I'm happy today, and it's a spillover from Mother's Day because I definitely had my best Mother's Day ever this Mother's Day. So seriously, I've suffered from depression right since I was a child. Way before my 10th birthday, I lived a lot in a very dark place. And so Mother's Day has also been very emotional day for me. And there've been lots of reasons in the past where I've had just found reasons to just find myself in a dark place for Mother's Day. One of them is the fact that I could never take a break, right? When my children were younger, I could never take a break because, I have no husband, had no husband, still have no husband. Or even, a present baby daddy, someone who would take the kids every other weekend. Being a mom 16 plus years now, never had that. So sometimes on Mother's Day, I would just get depressed just because there was nobody to give me a break. And if you're a mom right now watching this, I just want to tell you that, you're not alone if you're feeling this way, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. We love our kids. I love my children to death. But, there were Mother's Day where I just got really darkly depressed because of this. Another reason why I would get depressed on Mother's Day was that, I didn't have anyone to simply say thank you. Thank you for birthing these babies. Thank you for bringing these children to this world. Thank you for all you do for the kids. And, I didn't have the luxury of bearing a planned pregnancy, or quite honestly, a even wanted pregnancy. And I'm going to pause here and say, I love my kids so much. I hope that they are very confident in my love. But I'm not going to sit here and say that at the time that I was pregnant, I was planning, to be a mom. And so that's just something that I've never had, someone to say thank you, someone to be like, oh gosh, this is great. And, this was such something that's depressed me a lot, enough to be before, now I'm 41, but before I was 40, I kept saying, I don't really want more kids, but even if it's just to feel, just to have a baby that's wanted, I will want to have one more baby for that. But right now, no, not really. I don't want to have any more kids. If the temptation was really good, Jeff Bezos were to holler and say, what's going to make this marriage work is that you are going to have at least one baby for me. Well, that's some serious temptation. I could think about it then. But right now, I'm good. But anyway, that was something else that made me depressed on Mother's Day. And then the third thing that made me depressed on Mother's Day was one time. I think this one happened once. It was 5 years ago. There was this guy. I was dating this guy. He was a good boyfriend because he was nice enough to ask me, honey, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I thought it was sweet. And I was like, I want flowers, because really that's all I want for Mother's Day is just flowers. Maybe breakfast in bed might be nice. But I asked him for flowers. And I didn't live with him, so he couldn't do breakfast in bed for sure. He couldn't cook for his life too. But anyway, Mother's Day came around, and guys, I didn't get any flowers. And I remember that sending me into a very, very dark place. I was so depressed that Mother's Day. My dad was actually with us. But, I couldn't even, respect or love my dad enough to brighten up. I was in such a dark place when my dad called me to come go to church. I was raised Catholic, or I'm still a practicing Catholic. But when my dad called me to come go to church, I was like, No, I told the kids, no, I'm not going anywhere. I was just crying all day and all of that. I mean, that Mother's Day ended up being so sweet because my dad eventually got me some flowers, even though he didn't know flowers was why I was so down in the dumps. But, you know, my dad is a sweet guy. So he eventually got some flowers. After church, they came back with some, him and my boys. And my brother also brought me the most beautiful bouquet of flowers that Mother's Day. So that Mother's Day ended up being good, but it started really, I was in a dark place, okay? And I'm just gonna pause here and give the guys a little bit of tip, because at that night, this guy still kind of took me out to dinner. And so he didn't get flowers, but he took me out to dinner. So in other words, he loved me the way he wanted to, not the way I had asked. And so just a tip for guys, the only way you can truly love a woman is really the way she wants to be loved, because no matter what you do for a woman, if it's not what she wants, well, you're just doing it for yourself, and you have to admit that. You have to learn that at a time, otherwise you're gonna end up getting hurt or saying, oh, I'm trying, and she doesn't appreciate it. So but anyway, the truth of the matter was that day, really, I started to stop loving this guy. And, you know, the girls that are watching kind of know what I'm talking about when I say I started to stop loving him, because you know what they say, that when a woman actually leaves a relationship is not when she really left or when she started living or whatever. But anyway, we broke up 2 months later. But those are 3 reasons why I found myself like sometimes it's depressed on Mother's Day, but this year's Mother's Day, there was none of that. Guys, I had my best Mother's Day ever. And 2020, because of this, I have to say 2020, don't write 2020 off yet. 2020 is not a bad year yet. You know, there's still more to come, and I hope that all of you end up having happy moments in 2020, because I know that this has been a rough year for everyone, almost everyone. I know that this has been a sad year for people. There have been a lot of losses in 2020, business losses, life losses. And I just want to empathize or sympathize with anyone who's grieving right now because of a lost one in 2020. May the soul of all the faithful departed rest in peace. So now I just want to talk about my Mother's Day. Yeah, so why was I so happy on Mother's Day? I was happy because my king, King Alex, he bought me flowers with his money. Okay, he didn't just buy me flowers, he bought me flowers with his money. And emphasize that, like, I know that if it were to just buy me flowers with my money, that wouldn't have been as wonderful for me. So it's important. And I'm also happy because my 11-year-old King Aaron, he cooked breakfast for me, and he didn't just cook this breakfast, he brought it in bed with, you know, a love letter. Pretty much he wrote me a love letter and brought it with my breakfast in bed, and it was just everything I wanted for Mother's Day, guys. Everything. Like, the only thing that was missing was extra pampering, but still, for me, Mother's Day, just give me flowers, give me some breakfast in bed, and give me the day off. That's all I want. And so literally had the best Mother's Day ever, and happiness is such a big deal for me. Like, just imagine Mother's Day happiness for this tiny little thing some people will consider, in my case, this for me, but it's huge because it is something that makes me happy. It is something I know that makes me happy. So I'm gonna segue into talking about happiness to you guys, because 3 things I want you to know before we start really talking about happiness. You know, happiness is not a destination, right? That's one. Happiness is not a destination. You can't tell yourself, oh, I'm going to be happy when? I'm going to be happy, you know, when I finally graduate from college. I'm going to be happy when I get married. I'm going to be happy, you know, when my divorce is final. I'm going to be happy, you know, when I graduate or whatever. So you can't wait for a time to be happy. Happiness is a decision. You have to decide to be happy. You have to choose it willingly to be happy. And you have to make that decision now, in the present tense. And finally, it is your responsibility to choose happiness as a value. Okay, last time I talked about responsibility, and right today, I just want to tell you guys that, you know, it's your responsibility to choose happiness as a value. And so I want to talk about happiness as a value, because happiness is truly one of my greatest value on earth, and why is that? I mentioned briefly that I suffered from depression since I was a child. And when I'm comfortable, I hope to talk more about depression and my journey, with depression, or digging myself out with you guys. But today, I just want to focus on happiness. So why did I choose happiness as a value, guys? Listen, suicide is the biggest killer of humanity today in our world. Especially for young people. Okay, so 800,000 people on the average kill themselves every single year. And just to give you perspective to that, coronavirus has killed about 307,000 people till date. Okay, so the amount of people that die every year because of suicide from their own hands, out of for whatever reason, is more than double the amount of people that have died of coronavirus so far. So just to give you some perspective, but it's really something that is in the fabric of humanity. Everybody should take it serious. And the suicide rate keeps increasing every single year in most of the countries. And I've had people say a lot of what I consider really vile things about people who kill themselves. Oh blah, they're selfish, they're what else have I heard? They're selfish, they're weak, or whatever. But quite honestly, two suicides recently that really affected me was Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade. Kate Spade really, because she was a young woman who built a fashion empire in our time, right? So, most fashion empires that we hear of, Givenchy, Gucci, they have been here for forever. We came and met them here. But Kate Spade, I'm from New York too originally, and just knowing that somebody was able to make that brand a name in our time, it gave me hope, because if you don't know that already about me, I have a fashion and beauty empire. Hopefully it will soon be an empire, but I'm building my fashion and beauty empire at the Johnson Wald. Our website, www.AlaJohnsonWald, shows a few of the products, beauty and fashion that we have. And so I looked up to Kate Spade, and so I took her death really hard. It was kind of like someone that had everything, what reason should they have to kill themselves? Because she already have things that I aspire to have, right? And then Anthony Bourdain, I love to travel. I love to travel and try food everywhere I go. I love to eat too. I'm a foodie. So when I heard about Anthony Bourdain, someone who had a dream job for everybody, someone who had a dream life, it hit me hard. I was in a very dark place after Anthony Bourdain died for quite a while. So very good reasons why we should all take our happiness seriously, and quite honestly, why we should all choose happiness as a value. Okay, so I just want to pause here and say that if anybody right now is pretty much considering taking their own life, if you're considering suicide, I just want you to know that there's a helpline. Definitely call your country's suicide helpline. If you're in the US, that number is 1-800-SUICIDE, and to spell it out is 1-800-784-2433. Okay, all right, so now talking about I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, please get some help. And if you're not from America, you can leave a comment and I can, find you support or number in your country, okay? So this video definitely doesn't take the place of getting licensed help. I wanted to put that out there. But so for now, everybody, I just want to ask you guys one important question regarding happiness. And it is, what makes you happy? Okay, what makes you happy? For most of us, I don't think we've taken time to ask ourselves that question ever. And quite honestly, I want to say that one reason why a lot of people are miserable is because they don't even know the answer to that question. They've never taken the time. And so by giving you, by telling you right now, asking you this question, what makes you happy, and giving you the opportunity to take today, take this week, take this year, just take some time, get a notepad and write down everything, that makes you happy. And this is my gift to you. And quite honestly, this is one of the deepest way another human being can love you, is to ask you that question, what makes you happy? Because if you know what makes you happy, you are empowered to be able to make yourself happy. Think about it, okay? So it sounds easy enough, but it's just one exercise I want us to take time to do, because I want to segue into a series of discussion on happiness. I'm glad to say I've been able to dig myself out of a dark place. One of the reasons is because I lived there for a long time and I didn't like how it felt to live there. And so I'm going to be diving deeper into happiness and sharing what I call my 10 commandments of happiness with you guys. And this is really things that I hold dear to help me stay happy. Okay, so what makes you happy? Answer the question in the comment section if you like. Send me a message, an email, and let me know. But we're going to continue this discussion with a series on happiness. Okay, all right. Well, you guys, I hope you have a happy day. And oh my gosh, I'm still looking at my flowers from Mother's Day. Yes, they are lasting. And enjoy your weekend. Okay.
Sleeping on my cradle bed, and tears of sweet affections shed. My mother, when pain and sickness made me cry, who gazed upon my heavy eye and wept for fear that I should die. My mother, my mother, who taught my infant lips to pray and love God's holy book and day, and walk in wisdom's pleasant way. My mother, be kind to me. My mother, a noble thought I cannot bear, and it can please my life to spare. I hope I shall reward thy care. My mother, when thou art feeble, old and gray, my healthy arm shall be thy stay, and I will soothe thy pain away.